Record. All right. Monday. Give me a thumbs up when you can see the screen. I'll go into present mode. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we'll let Chelsea continue to let people in and make sure. So if you're jumping in late, no worries, but I'm going to barrel through these slides because today we're going to do a Power 30 and Q&A, which you're going to start seeing once a month moving forward, led by one of us Diamond leaders. So we're excited for this so that we can actually take some action while we're on together. I'm your host, Morgan Spracio. I think you guys know me by now. I'm wearing those pants today. How fun. Okay, on the agenda, I'm going to move quickly through this. So we're going to hit some recognition, but then we're going to go into Power 30 Q&A and of course your weekly wisdom tips and to-dos. So remember, you are changing lives every single day, every time you show up, every time you pick up your phone, open a message. These amazing ladies, we have 6 of us already hit Success Club, locked it in, which is awesome. So many people almost there. That list is continuing to grow. There are 8 days left in the month. And remember, every single person you connect to something we have to offer, whether it's a single product, a total solution, body, that's accruing volume for you to hit that Success Club. So keep going, ladies that are almost there. You guys are crushing it. And don't stop if you're already there. For those of us who have locked it in, make sure you're keeping with those connections and invites, which we're going to get to here in 2 minutes. Diamond Plus Biz Builders. It was fun seeing this list. Kayla locking that back in, and I saw some ranks today. I know Chelsea and Marlena, I think, jumped back up on the rank. So I love that we do this weekly. I know it just says Diamond Plus Biz Builders. You know where you're at specifically, but it's just fun to know, we're continuing to work and show up. All of these lovely ladies, Emerald Biz Builders. This list I had to smaller the font because we had people to add. So congrats for some of you either getting it back or hitting Emerald this week. Really just means that you're continuing to drive your business forward. You've unlocked that cycle bonus, or you're getting that cycle bonus for the week, which is awesome. So just so you know, obviously recognition is super important, but I want to make sure today we are doing some income producing activities. So we're going to jump right into it. I will touch base. So we're going to go off what is called the Coaching Business Activity Tracker. Take a picture of this slide if you're not familiar with it. If one of my leaders can drop in the chat, I feel like Ashley, you're really good at this, how to get to the business activity tracker in your coach office. It's really simple. And they've really made it cool for us where you can even add in names to follow up with tracking and what you're doing. So you can set times on it. It's a really cool thing that they've built into our coach office. So there are different parts of the coach business activity tracker. And we're mainly tonight gonna touch on those income producing activities, which is stuff that is going to bring money into your pocket by helping people. So clearly doing enrolling activities. So number 1, be proof the products. That's drinking your shake, drinking your Energize, doing your workouts, getting results. Number 2 is connect, invite, and follow up. That's where we're going to spend a bulk of our time tonight. Number 3 is getting people results. We don't just sign people up and leave them. And number 4 is personal development. So if you're not familiar with this, if you're a newer coach, take a quick picture of this, because this really just dives down. If you want to get in and you have 20-30 minutes to work, these are the things we're going to be doing. So I think if you want to turn music on, if you're muted, whatever the case, we're just going to simply work. I'm going to dedicate this time to you guys versus I'll do some of my own work. But if you have questions, as we're going through stuff, drop them in the chat, and I'm going to be dedicated to checking the chat for you. We will have a Q&A time at the end, but that's for more generic questions. So if we're doing something and you're hey, would you to this or blah blah blah, drop it in the chat. I'm going to stay there and stay live with you guys. So the first thing that we're going to do is in that second portion, the connect, invite, and follow up, is initiate connections and expand your network. This is really simple with just like checking in with new people, maybe someone that's come to your page that's viewed your stories that you don't recognize. Maybe, you know, you had a reel that got a lot of views, so you're going and kind of looking at who liked that and making new connections. Something that I like to do really simple is watch some stories and respond to that. So if you are brand new to like, how the heck do I find new people, expand my network? What I always say is the easiest thing is think of a brand or a person that you follow that you love and you connect with, and go to their page and see who's engaging in their content, who's commenting on their posts, who's liking their posts, and go find some people from there and look for who has public pages. Maybe they have a kid that's the same age as you. Maybe their kid's doing activities the same as yours. Maybe, you know, whatever the case. But we're take 5 or so minutes to do this. So go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, start dropping them in the chat and I am happy to help.
I'm going to share with you guys something I do for those of you that are new. If you have a lot of followers that maybe you haven't connected with or invited them, if you go to who you're following, there's a section that says least interacted with. Click on that list and then start interacting with those people if you haven't already. And if you can't make contact, what I do is then I go ahead and unfollow them. So that way I can get back down to not following so many people that are not going to engage back with me. So that's something that I'm doing right now during this time too.
Yep, such a good tip. And we're gonna wrap this up quickly. Like say we're doing a power 30. So this is something just in the future, if you have 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, this like you do one thing, right? So I just wanted to share, like say I like going to Pages. So I have this account that I follow. It's Mommy Labor Nurse. She shares like birthing, mom tips, labor stuff, and I love it. I love labor and birthing. And chances are if someone's following this page, they're probably either pregnant or have a kid. So like say finding accounts that you can then go to a post and see who's comment. This has 344 comments. It's probably 344 people I can go to and watch their stories and be like, oh, you're pregnant too. When are you due? I'm due in 4 weeks, you know? So super easy way. That's not like, ew, I'm being weird. Like, why am I connecting with these people? So go ahead and wrap up. Finishing there, like say we're moving on through. But just so you're getting an idea, getting some stuff done, but also mainly getting an idea when you're doing these power 30s, power hours on your own, like what activities you should be doing. So as you're finishing up that, the next thing we're going to move to is inviting new people. So here, this is truly new people. We're going to get to follow-ups in just a minute, and we're going to spend the most time here. So probably about 10 minutes. I want you to try and send, 4 to 5 invites. In the next few minutes. The easiest place to go for this is your story viewers, maybe someone you haven't connected with. Like Ashley just said, if you're brand new and maybe you only have 20 or 30 story viewers, like just go to your friends list, go on Facebook, the people that you already probably have the closest knit connection with, and just scroll through and kind of see of your friends, like, oh, who do I think would enjoy doing what I'm doing, and go try and invite 3 to 5 people in the next 10 minutes, brand new invites, telling them why you think they would love this, and inviting to whatever program you're going to be starting in February or continuing on with. And again, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. Okay, so go ahead and wrap up what you're doing. So I want to keep moving on. Drop in the chat how many invites you got sent. Even 1, 2, like say, even aiming for like 3 to 5. Even if you're doing that, a few days a week, that adds up to 50 plus people you could be inviting a month. So just remember, I know like for some of us, it's like especially seasoned coaches, like invite 100 people a day. No, don't do it. Just stay focused on those like really good connections and invites, and I promise it's going to pay off. So good. 3, 5, 5 earlier, getting a few more right now. Perfect. So good job on those. The next few minutes, sometimes for me, these like overlap because if I'm like scrolling story viewers, I'm hitting new invites and follow-ups. So if you were doing that, no worries. But let's spend just a few minutes following up with previous invites. So go maybe to some people you invited last month, maybe just back into like the fall when people were like, oh, in the new year, and go same thing, 3 to 5 follow-ups that you're trying to send. Just reminding people, hey, I'm still on this journey. I'm doing this. Would love for you to jump in. Don't make it weird. Don't make it awkward. Just be like, new group starting next Monday. Would love for you to join if now is a better time. Simple as that. Okay, so wrap that up. Hopefully you got, yeah, this is way more fun. And also, Chelsea, you just reminded me, like, it's been so long since I've just connected, and it's so fun. Just like say, just messaging. This post is about babies dropping. So these women are all like 38 weeks. And I can just view their stories. And then this one is like a toddler mom, new mom. Like, it's just so fun. So yeah, this is just a good reminder for all of us. So step 3, we're not going to do this on because I want to make sure there's time for questions. Unless anyone doesn't have any, then you can take time to do whatever you want. But number 3 is get people results, which is just so important. Like, say, our job as coaches is to coach. And that's something that I think a lot of us value and appreciate about what we do as body coaches is we support our clients. So making sure every single day, even if it's just for 5 minutes, you can only get through a couple, like check in with your challenge group and your team page. If you're not running your own challenge group, jump into the one that you're part of and just go encourage a couple of people. Or maybe you have a text thread with 1 or 2 challengers, make sure you're showing up for them. And recognition is big. So whether this is your team of coaches, whether you're telling a coach, good job for sending their first cart or whatever, or maybe it's a customer that did their first workout, today is Monday, doing that recognition because it means so much to people. So don't forget about that stuff. And then number 4 is personal development. So that's always should be on your to-dos. 10 minutes, listen to something, read a few pages, anything like that. So Chelsea, if you want to click on very quickly, we have 7 minutes left. So I want to hit on your pick 1 or 4 to-dos for this week. In the be proof of the product, I think, or maybe in the invites, one of the tabs, if you go look at the bat, it's, make sure you're posting on social media, make sure you're doing call to actions, make sure you're updating your stories. So today, if you haven't shared on your stories, or if you're not caught up for the day, go back and do it. Post something on your stories. Do a challenge group call to action post this week. It's the last week of the month, which means most of us are starting new calendars or have new groups opening in the next week or so. So go post about it and tell people you're doing that. Do a power hour or a power 30 if that's all you can fit in. Like, look how much work you just got done in literally 20 minutes. So don't sit there and say like, well, I don't have time. Like, you can do small things in big things in a small amount of time. And then personal development, since we didn't hit on that, like those are some things that you can get done this week. Take a picture of this, check some off, try and get all 4 done. If not, get 1. And that should be it. Let's just skip over the dates to remember because these are the same. Let's open up for questions. If anyone has any specific questions, you can unmute yourself. If it's long or easier to type in the chat. We have 5 minutes left. If you don't have questions, you can continue on, like say with checking into your challenge group. That's something I just do every night before I go to bed. It's the easiest time. I remember it. I'm like, I need to check in with my people. Or if you had some good conversations, keep on with those. Questions.
Like
I
our
was gonna
monthly
say-
group, the January Snow Much Fun, Jess.
Yes.
I was also gonna say, I don't know if you guys joined last week, but I tell you what, having just a simple tracker, like I've just been listing like my connections, who did I invite, my follow-ups, like it's so simple and it makes it so much more, I don't know, meaningful when I'm like, I know what I'm doing and I have a place to put it. So if you guys didn't catch the call last week, reach out to your coach if you need like a tracker or a system for this.
Yeah, it
I had a
reminds me, I
question.
need to upload that Excel file of that too. Go ahead, Jess.
So if we have customers plug into the January group that we just had in the February, do you guys have like another group for like just like your challengers, or do you just plug into that one?
Just that.
I think sometimes coaches that plug their people into a bigger group, like sometimes they have smaller message threads or like text messages, but I just solely focus on that. I can't manage multiple groups at once.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was
What
thinking,
I
because I get stressed out if I have like too much stuff going on. But I also do
same.
like like something smaller. So when you do your message like threads, do you do it through like your Instagram
was
and
gonna say
have
what
like
I've
just
done-
closer people there?
what I've done in the past that I enjoy is when I start a program, I'm always inviting for that. And so if someone's starting on day one with me, I just do an Instagram message because I'm on
Okay.
Instagram a lot anyways. And I
Yeah.
really only check into it like once a day, but I'll work out. So like if I'm starting job one on Monday, which I'm planning on doing, anyone who says like, hey, I want to do that with you, I'm going to plug them into our big group. But then I'm also just going to have a little chat so that we can be like, oh my gosh, my triceps are so sore, or that move was killer. Just so they have somewhere where they feel like, oh, we're all doing the same thing. But yeah, like Chelsea said, you want them to engage in the big groups.
Yeah.
So
Because
don't feel
I'm
like
having a
overdo
hard
it.
time getting them to like plug into the group. Like they're almost like they're shy almost, you know? So that's why I was thinking, do I need to connect with them more like personal, like you like that? So to try and see if maybe they could plug into the group. I don't know. Or is that just too much? Or do you think that's too much coming from me? You know what I mean? I don't know.
My newbies that I'm plugging into a group, I'm like, listen, this is where you want to pour your energy. If you are committed to your goals and you identify your why and you lean in here, you are going to get results. Like you will love this, even if it's a matter
Okay.
of liking a post and posting once in a while, but lean into this group. But a lot think that they can fly under the radar and no one's going to notice. So if you do have the opportunity to keep a little bit closer ties with your newbies from the get-go, just encouraging them and making sure that they're figuring out how the group best serves them, encouraging that way. Like they don't need to be balls
Okay.
to the wall and like posting every single day if that's not what they feel
Yeah.
comfortable with, but they should be reading the posts, liking, that sort of stuff at minimum.
Okay. Okay.
Correct me if I'm
Thank
wrong, if
you.
anyone disagrees.
I was gonna say, sometimes like if you have just a few that you haven't seen, you can also like put the @ and then tag them and be like, hey
Yeah.
babes, I haven't seen you check in a while. How you doing? You still here? Boom. At least you've done, I always am like, at least I've done my due diligence of showing up as their coach. If they choose not to continue to hold hands or whatever, then that's on them. But
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
especially like for newer coaches, like you don't have to do it all. You're providing a really good space for them to check in and understand like some people don't feel comfortable. So like say like Chelsea was giving tips for that, but you also have to do what's manageable for you as a coach. And releasing the guilt of like, oh, well, I'm doing something wrong if they're not checking in. Like, no,
No.
not necessarily the case at all.
You have connected them to the resources, the community, like they have to help themselves too.
Cool.
Make sure you grab your picture because we're gonna be disconnected. Morgan, thank you so much for that. That
Yeah,
was so
hope it was
good.
helpful. And we'll have the recording up. So if you want, if you need the guidance for a while until you get used to what you're doing, go back and just re-listen to the recording over and over and check out the BAT in your coach online office.
Thank you.
Signing off.
Okay,
Cool.
bye girls. See you
Bye,
next Monday.
ladies.